Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news now, Browns fans. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the offseason is always a roller coaster, filled with surprises, bold predictions, and the kind of rumors that keep us on the edge of our seats. But this time, there's a narrative that's gaining momentum, one that could reshape the future not only for the Browns but for the entire AFC North. And it all starts with a name that's just recently entered the national conversation, Shedeur Sanders. Yes, that's right, the young quarterback from Colorado, son of the legendary Deion Sanders, has been making waves, and not just in college football. His transition to the NFL, or at least the expectations around it, has sparked a lot of debate, especially when it comes to Cleveland's quarterback situation. Now, Shedeur Sanders just got here, and already some experts are speculating about his future in the league, whether he's destined to be a star or whether he might be pushed out sooner than anyone expects. But here's where things get interesting. A recent mock draft from ESPN's Matt Miller isn't directly about Sanders, but it's about the ripple effect of the Browns' next move, and that's where the real intrigue begins. Miller's projection suggests that Cleveland could finish the upcoming season with the worst record in the NFL, and that, believe it or not, could land them the coveted first pick in the 2026 draft. And guess what? The player they're projected to select with that pick is none other than Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. Now, this is a bold prediction, and it's based on some pretty solid reasoning, but it also raises questions about the long-term plans for the Browns at the quarterback position. What makes this scenario so fascinating is the context of Cleveland's current quarterback room. We've seen a lot of movement, a lot of experimentation. Dillon Gabriel, who was drafted in the third round last year, has shown flashes of potential, but he's still very much a question mark at this stage. Shedeur Sanders, meanwhile, was drafted in the fifth round, and while he's shown glimpses of talent, he's also far from a finished product. The projection from Miller implies that these two might not be enough to secure Cleveland a stable, long-term answer at quarterback. Instead, the Browns might be looking to the future, eyeing a guy like Klubnik, who is currently ranked as one of the top quarterbacks in college football. And let's talk about Klubnik for a moment. The mock draft describes him as someone who reminds him of Baker Mayfield, which, for Browns fans, is a nostalgic yet somewhat haunting comparison. Mayfield, of course, was Cleveland's first overall pick in 2018, and his journey was filled with ups and downs. Klubnik, with his arm talent, mobility, and playmaking ability, is seen as a guy who could potentially follow a similar path, maybe not immediately, but as a franchise quarterback. In the 2024 season, Klubnik threw for over 600 yards, 36 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions, highlighting his talent and poise, especially in high-pressure moments like that gutsy performance against Texas in the college football playoff. That game, by the way, put him squarely on the radar of NFL scouts and fans alike. But here's the catch: can Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel change this outlook? Of course they can. April 2026 is a long way off, and a lot can happen in that time. Sanders, with his arm talent and athleticism, has the tools to develop into a starter. Gabriel, too, has shown flashes, and with the right coaching and opportunity, he could become more consistent. But the projection here suggests that unless these young quarterbacks make a significant leap, Cleveland might be back at square one, looking for their franchise quarterback again. That's a reality Browns fans need to brace for, especially with the history of quarterbacks in Cleveland, where the hunt for stability has often been a roller coaster ride. Now, this brings us to the current situation at training camp, which is always a crucial period for a young QB. Shedeur Sanders, now getting his first real shot to compete with veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, is under the microscope. The coaching staff will be watching closely as camp unfolds, evaluating his development, decision-making, and how well he adapts to the NFL speed. For Browns fans, it's exciting to see a young talent like Sanders in Cleveland, but it's also a reminder that the team might be playing the long game. They're likely prioritizing building a strong defense, a solid offensive line, and a running game that can carry the load, elements that are crucial for any quarterback to succeed. And let's not forget the broader context of the AFC North. It's one of the most competitive divisions in football, with the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers all vying for supremacy. The Ravens have Lamar Jackson, a dynamic dual-threat quarterback. The Steelers have Kenny Pickett, who showed flashes of potential last season, and the Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, are always dangerous. In this environment, Cleveland's quarterback situation is under the microscope, and every move they make could tip the scales. If Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel can step up and develop into reliable starters, the Browns could be a dark horse in the AFC. But if not, they might be forced to look elsewhere, perhaps even in the 2026 draft, to find their long-term solution. Now, it's worth mentioning that Cleveland's front office has historically been aggressive in making moves when they see an opportunity. Remember when they traded for Deshaun Watson? That was a bold move, and while it brought its own set of challenges, it showed that Cleveland isn't afraid to make big decisions. So, if the current projections hold and the Browns are indeed set to pick first in 2026, it'll be fascinating to see how they approach that pick. Do they stick with a young prospect like Klubnik, or do they pivot and look for someone else? And what about the potential impact of Shedeur Sanders if he continues to develop? Could he be the dark horse that surprises everyone and disrupts these long-term plans? In the end, Browns fans, what's clear is that the team's future is more uncertain and exciting than ever. The quarterback position remains the biggest question mark, but it's also the most intriguing. Shedeur Sanders, as a young talent, has the potential to become a star, or he might be just another name in Cleveland's long list of quarterbacks who didn't quite make it. Either way, the next few seasons will be critical in shaping the franchise's destiny. The division is fierce, the stakes are high, and Cleveland's quest for that elusive Super Bowl title continues to drive everything they do. The offseason moves, the draft strategy, the development of young players, every step is part of that big puzzle. And here's the thing, despite all the speculation and predictions, the NFL always has a way of surprising us. Players develop at different rates. Injuries happen, coaching changes can turn everything upside down, and suddenly, a team that looked destined for the bottom can rise right back up. Cleveland has shown resilience in the past, and with a talented roster, a passionate fanbase, and a front office that's not afraid to take risks, they're always in the conversation. This upcoming season could be the turning point, or it could be another chapter in their ongoing quest for consistency and greatness. Now, Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Are you excited about Shedeur Sanders' potential? Do you believe Cleveland should be targeting a quarterback like Klubnik in the future, or do you think they should give more time to Gabriel or even try to develop Sanders? Your opinions are what make this community so special, and I love hearing your takes. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get that discussion going. And don't forget, I'll be back very soon with more updates, insider news, and analysis on the Cleveland Browns. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, keep that Browns pride alive.